In this video, I will be explaining all 5 ways to get killed in Made in Abyss, from the least lethal to the most lethal, so stick till the end to see what the greatest threats of the Abyss are and how to survive them. The very first threat is relics. So relics are objects of varying power levels found in the Abyss, with first grade relics being the strongest. Normally stronger relics are found the lower one goes in the Abyss. While some relics are purely utility, some are made to kill, and the most dangerous relics are risky to even touch. Despite this, the threat level for relics is low, as most relics are relatively safe to use and handle, especially at higher levels. Only a few truly dangerous relics exist, but those that do pose a real threat are usually found at lower layers where only experienced delvers go. The most dangerous relic we have seen so far in the series are known as the Cradle of Desire and the Interference Units. The Cradle of Desire is unknown grade, while Interference Units are considered supreme treasures of the Netherworld, indicating their mere existence threatens the value of other found relics. So the Cradle of Desire is considered the most dangerous, as it can so-called grant any wish the user desires. 2 cradles created the entire village of Iruburu, demonstrating their immense power. It is however extremely dangerous to use one, as even touching the relic with bare hands is enough to trigger it. It is especially dangerous to adults, as clouded thoughts can distort one's wishes and lead to a terrible outcome, which happened even with a child like Irumui. The other dangerous relics are interference units. Interference units are essentially robots that are extremely durable and often have powerful weapons called incinerators that can rewrite the rules of the Abyss. A single interference unit wreck was able to pose a grave threat to a white whistle like Bondrewd and managed to take down some of its Umbra hands. While most interference units we have seen so far have remained on the character side, a hostile unit would pose a grave threat. Confirmed deaths include Mitty and Narahate, who was immortal to any injury. Only Rex Incinerator was able to hurt Mitty, showing how powerful the weapon truly was. Rex was also able to outmaneuver the Umbra hands and had high speed and combat abilities. The best way to stay safe from relics was knowledge. Like the Cradle of Desire, knowing what a relic actually does before touching it or using it is extremely important to stay safe. Being able to use this properly will make sure that you can survive the Abyss. The next way to get killed is by none other than beasts. Beasts are creatures that lurk in the Abyss. There is a large variety of beasts found, and they often get more lethal the lower one progresses in the Abyss. The most dangerous beast we have encountered in the anime so far is the Turbinate Dragon. It is a very large beast with strong armor and poisonous scales. Like the other beasts, it is not affected by the curse. Its skin is strong enough to be able to pierce wreck, a few other creatures manage to achieve. The other beast is a Turbinate Scorpion, which is found in the 5th layer. It usually hides underground in its nest and will prey upon any delver that sets foot on top of it with its multiple poisonous stingers. In the anime, the beast hierarchy follows a classification system. Going from weaker to strongest, the classifications are harmless, insignificant, requires caution, serious, deadly, absurd, extraordinary, and unprecedented. There are 2 main ways to survive this threat. The first is avoiding beasts entirely, as most hostile beasts are extremely territorial and will attack anything within its territory. However, it is rare that a beast attacks unprovoked outside of its own territory. The other way, which white whistles like Bondrewd prefers, is simply being well equipped. Despite the Stingerhead being one of the most dangerous beasts in the Abyss, Bondrewd was shown to be able to clear out an entire nest on his own with Sparagamos, showing that with enough equipment and skill, even the most dangerous beasts do not pose a threat. The next threat of the Abyss is none other than thirst and starvation. Being human, delvers often are unable to carry supplies that last beyond a few days. meaning they often have to rely on the abyss to source for food and water, but not all water is safe. The threat of this is high as every delver will eventually need food and water. It is also very difficult to find a safe and reliable source of both, especially so if one is going deeper into the abyss. The most dangerous water we have seen is none other than pseudo water, a creature that looks like water but is actually a parasite. Once consumed, the creature will lay eggs in the victim's body and cause diarrhea, before eventually melting the person from the inside out and they become something that resembles lead, getting killed. The parasite was also immune to boiling. The known victims of this parasite was an entire delving crew known as the Ganja Squad, who could not find any other source of water and was forced to drink this, leading to most of them being infected and almost succumbing. They only recovered after the help of a very strong Cradle of Desire. This shows how deadly poisonous food and water are, as it is difficult to distinguish if it is poisonous or not. The only way to survive these threats is to conduct thorough checks and research on anything one eats or drinks. In the case of pseudo water, the water had gathered around the carcass of a large animal, which would have been obvious if thorough checks had been done before they drank it. It is also important to only eat or drink what other creatures of the abyss drink, as they will know if it is safe. Now moving on to the threat, which is none other than hostile delvers. While delvers are generally supposed to follow laws and not attack other cave raiders, there are exceptions. Certain white wizards have been shown to exceed their authority, while there have been mentions of conflicts between nations raiders ongoing in the abyss, making hostile delvers an ever-present threat. The threat is very high, as oftentimes hostile raiders possess a high wizard rank, meaning they are incredibly skilled and difficult to outmaneuver. It is unlikely that one makes it out unscathed should one meet a hostile cave delver during their dive, which makes this such a big threat. The most dangerous of them all are the white wizards, chief among them being Liza. As white wizards are given nicknames depending on what their expertise is, Liza being named the Annihilator indicates that she was the best in combat among the white wizards. This means she was better than Bondrewd, who single-handedly cleared a nest of Slingerheads. It was also mentioned that she defeated delvers from other nations and managed to claim the Unheard Bell, meaning that her kill count was probably very high. The only way to survive an encounter with a hostile white wizard was to either be one yourself or get incredibly lucky. There is little chance a lesser experienced delver can survive an encounter with a hostile white wizard unless they decide to give up pursuit. This is shown repeatedly when Rico's crew constantly gets beaten up by Ozen and Bondrewd. Finally, the most dangerous threat is none other than the Curse of the Abyss. The Curse of the Abyss basically works by inflicting varying degrees of negative effects like nausea as one tries to ascend in the Abyss. The effects of ascension from the 6th layer or lower is known to be lethal, although a few workarounds are known to exist. The danger of the curse is incredible, as it affects every single human delver that enters the Abyss. There are very few ways to avoid it, and it severely limits movement in one direction, making it an omnipresent threat to any delver. The known deaths caused by this threat include several Umbra hands who died from the strain of ascension when battling Rek. Rico, who forgot the strain of ascension was even a thing, and meet his friend, who got turned into creatures by Bondrewd's elevator. There are two main ways to avoid the curse. The first is to, of course, not go up. The other way is to find weaknesses in the force field, as it was shown that several spots in the Abyss, such as Sanachi's hideout and the village of Iroburu, was not affected by the curse at all. Several of Bondrewd's experiments also yielded results, as it was shown that he had been to the 6th layer and came back up. And that is it for this video. make sure to leave a like and subscribe to help this channel out. And if you want more content like this, arigato.